This video will explain questions 5 and 6. We are going to move on from slope-intercept form to something that I call point-slope form. Point-slope form is y equals m times x minus x sub 1 plus y sub 1. In the equation, the m value represents our slope, just like we had the slope in our other equations. But instead of needing a y-intercept, instead we're using a point. This x1 and this y sub 1, that's our ordered pair. So if we take a look in number 5, we want a line that passes through the point -5, -1, and has a slope of 1 over 6. So let's label what each of those represents in our equation. Our slope is m, so we're going to label this as m, and our point is our x and our y. So this would be x sub 1 and y sub 1. The sub 1s just represent that this is just the x coordinate and the y coordinate of our first point. And then all we want to do is we want to go ahead and put those points and our slope in for these values. So we are replacing the m, the x sub 1, and the y sub 1 in our equation. So our answer would become y equals, we're replacing m with 1/6. And again, just to show you, this 1/6 is going in for the m in our equation here. We're going to keep our parenthesis. We're also going to keep this x is staying there. That's just the general x in our equation. So the x comes here. The minus sign stays. And then instead of this x sub 1, we're replacing it with the x value, which is -5. And then we'll close that parenthesis, plus our y value. So where our y sub 1 is here, we're taking the y sub 1 here, which is -1. This version of our line is just an unsimplified form of our line. We are able to simplify it if we want to. You do not have to simplify it. So if this makes sense as it is, you are more than welcome to keep your answer like that on the retake. Otherwise, we can go and simplify y equals 1 over 6 times, we have our x. The simplifying comes right here, where we have this minus a negative. Instead of subtracting a negative, we can change that to a positive. Still have our 5, our parenthesis, and our last simplification would come over here, which we have this plus a negative. Instead of plus a negative, that's the same thing as just a -1. Again, either of these two forms would work, unsimplified or simplified. Let's do this one more time in question number 6. So in question number 6, we have a slope of -7. So remember, our slope is that m value in our equation. So let's label that as m. And then our point is our x1 and our y1. So here, the point 3, -9, that's going to be our x1 and our y1. So let's label that. So this is our x and this is our y. It always goes in alphabetical order, x and then y. And then again, we're just plugging into the same equation that we had here, which is our point-slope form. So we have y equals, then we substitute the m, which in this case our m is -7, parenthesis, x minus, this is where we fill in the x1, which is coming from the x coordinate of our point, which is the 3. Close our parenthesis, and then we have plus, and we are going to replace the y1 in our equation with the y1 here, which is -9. And then again, if you want to go through and simplify it, you are welcome to do that. There's one spot to simplify it, so we could change this to y equals -7 times x minus 3. All of that stays the same. The simplifying would come right here where we have this plus a negative. We could go ahead and just simplify that to a -9. Either form is okay, and you can represent the equation each way. So the important thing to remember, this right here is our point-slope form. Questions 1 through 4, we dealt with slope-intercept form.